Hey everyone, welcome to this student success interview. I'm Garth Laidlaw with Portprep, and I help art students complete their portfolios to get into their top art schools across the globe. Portprep can help you create the absolute best art portfolio that you can possibly make and have the best chance of getting into your favorite art schools. We have courses on figure drawing, character design, perspective, animation, storyboarding. We even have courses that deal specifically with Sheridan College's animation portfolio, which is notoriously difficult to get into and which is what I graduated from. One of the primary problems that we've noticed with students not getting into their top art colleges is the accountability to produce work on a consistent basis, and this is exactly what we've created these courses for. When you sign up for one of Portprep's courses, we draw directly on top of our students' work to make corrections and also record all of our online meetups and video lectures to send to the students so that you can have it forever. Portprep is incredibly proud of our success rate with getting students into their top art colleges and universities, and so please have a look at our testimonials page. We also offer one-on-one art mentorships as well that are much more customized to your specific artistic goals. Without further ado, let's listen to this student interview.
Hi.
Hey Mahi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you feeling?
Great.
I bet. Wow, what a month that was, eh? You must have been very, nervous with anticipation, I imagine.
Yeah, I was.
Even with the incredibly high international student acceptance rate this year of 95%, which is just astounding, you still got in. So a huge congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so great. I knew a few people that were getting close to 100%, and they were just like amazing. I was just like, how did you even do this? This is already an extremely difficult portfolio. And then this year, it's already an incredibly difficult acceptance rate, and then still you got in. So wow, you must feel really great. You must feel very ready.
Yeah, I do.
I bet. So yeah, let's have a look. So basically, not really any points taken off for of pretty much everything. These are probably just courtesy points. They're like, well, we'll not give her 100%. We'll just take a few off. Wow, perfect light drawing, incredible. And perspective, personal artwork, short animation, and then only 1 point off. Yeah, wow, just amazing. So my first question is just, why did you want to get into animation in the first place? Like, and have you known forever that you wanted to do animation, or what was the first kind of start?
No, I actually have a bachelor in economics, and I applied for master's, and when I got in, I thought like, I don't want to continue this, so I want to go to arts. But I had no idea that I want to follow animation. I wanted to get into concept art in this small college named Max de Mott. Yeah. And I went to this life drawing class, and they were like, okay, Sheridan's the best, you have to go into Sheridan and stuff. And I wasn't really interested, but then I started looking at animation and like what it is and stuff, and I got interested. Yeah. Then I didn't get accepted the first year, and I wanted to go to Max de Mott actually, but then I thought like, even in this like 5-6 month period when I was applying for Sheridan, I pushed myself so hard to like get better and do stuff, but I wouldn't have done this if I wanted to go to another school. So I thought like, maybe Sheridan is the thing that's gonna like motivate me. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. But you applied last year, right, originally? Yeah. Okay, and you didn't get in that year, so you reapplied this year, and wow, so you took quite a perpendicular change from economics. I didn't even know that background. So if there's anything that you want to mention about these pieces as we go through them, then just feel free. But yeah, we'll just start with the beginning, the first observational light drawing. Awesome. So these are your two gestures. Ooh, that's a really nice one. Really nice, like flowing form here. And then with the arm sticking out, I remember seeing this one way back. Yeah, really, really, really great and very simple. You know, like you don't have a ton of line work. It's very concise.
just like, yeah, very basic. And I mean, we see the head, but we don't see any details. And, you know, from this pose, it didn't really need it. We're mostly seeing the body from this 3/4 view. This one's a bit more descriptive of the face, and yeah, really nice, Mahi. And then your longer ones. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, really great. And a nice diversity too. You kind of have two different, very distinct angles. Really solid feet in this one. Feet and hands, actually. In fact, the whole thing feels very like sturdy and grounded and three-dimensional. So that's really great. I was surprised you got perfect on these ones. So how long had you been figure drawing, or like what did you do to practice for this?
I think I drew this when I was going to life drawing classes for about, I think, 6 months to a year, to 6, 7 months. But like, I used to go 2 or 3 times a week, and it was like 3 hour life drawing classes, and it was equal, so it actually was really good. And it was really, really hard. These were like kind of my best kind of works, but at the time. And yeah, I remember reading this book. I don't the figure drawing thing that everyone is Mikkel something
Oh,
Hampton.
the force guy.
Yeah, I read that one too, but I didn't understand it at that time. I guess I wasn't really into life drawing. But no, there was
Okay.
another thing for like anatomy and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I studied anatomy for a while and do life drawing. And one thing that really helped me was kind of like repeating, like watching life drawings other people do, and like even the final product, and then try to imitate that for myself. So I was like, how can I draw the face in a short time? But
Yeah.
I used to look at other life drawings and be like, okay, so this person just did this, so maybe I could just try and do the head a few times like that person to see how they drew it, and it really helped me.
Yeah, that's great. What a great idea. Like actually, one thing I used to do when I was in at Sheridan and in Fundies, when I was just trying to improve, is I literally printed out great life drawing that I really admired and just stuck it right on my board just so that it's right beside what I'm working on so that I could kind of imitate. I think that's a great lesson too, of just like to imitate, copy early on, steal like an artist, as Austin Kleon would say, and just kind of like gather those great examples of solid work and then try to distill it into your own, because even in the process of distilling it, you'll make it your own. You'll add your own little flair to it. You don't necessarily have to worry about copying so much unless you're trying to copy every single stroke or something. So yeah, that's really great. There's a real distaste for some reason for copying, but that's just such, even in history, that's one of the greatest ways that artists have learned, is by copying great masters in painting and in all different kinds of fields. So I don't know why. I guess in maybe the digital age where there's like people copying and then selling it, but that's a big difference from copying to learn. That's a really great tip. So imitate and then kind of try and look how others have done it very closely. It seems like you're really good at analyzing and like looking and distilling about what people are doing and how their drawings work, and kind of deconstructing it in a way. That's really great. Let's look at the next section. Oh yeah, here's your hand. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, so you did manage to get the inside of the palm and the back side of the hand. That's nice, even though it's, yeah. Wow, really solid. In all of the best hand drawings that I'm seeing, it's usually, part of it is that I can imagine it animating. I can imagine the whole sequence between these two drawings, even though it's just two still drawings. We should really tangibly be able to see that flow, and even the impact of the water, very convincing. Yeah, really great. And also I love this, when the fleshy parts feel fleshy, and when the solid hard parts like the bone and the knuckles feel like bone. So it's great that you have little indications of that each of those different forms feel distinct. Are these your hands, or did you draw from someone else?
No, they're my hands.
That's great. Awesome. Okay, wait, we'll get to layout in a second. What's the next one? Character rotation. Yeah. Yeah, tell us your story about this one, Mahi. This is really funny.
Oh, yeah, I don't recommend doing this kind of pose because like it's really hard. Yeah. Yeah, so when I actually started doing this, I did I had done one other character rotation, but it was like a person just standing still. And when I was doing it at first, I had no idea like how hard it's gonna be. And I started with the front pose, and I was like, okay, let's rotate the head and let's give it the pose and let's do this. And I had no idea how hard it's gonna be. And then when I was doing it, I realized it's gonna be so hard. So
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, this I think this was the hardest thing that I did for Sheridan. It's probably because I didn't have a lot of experience back then, and yeah, I think if a person like I don't recommend doing just a pose that is like standing still doing nothing, but if you want to give it a pose, try to think ahead like what it's gonna be in different angles.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
This was a tricky pose. I remember working with you on this one, and specifically that there was one moment where the head, if for anyone watching, the head's kind of tilted back, but then it's also tilted to the side just slightly, and that's easy to draw from this view and maybe even this view, but as it starts to turn, you're like, whoa, wait a second, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
so we're kind of like moving it around. And sometimes you need to cheat it. Sometimes you need to kind of move it a little bit in one pose to make it make more sense. So it's great that you're able to distill that in. But yeah. But also you mentioned that you did this pose, the same character for the previous year, right?
Yeah.
And you got perfect. And then you
Yes.
did the same character and you got 14 out of 15.
15.
That's so funny. I wonder how that works, eh?
Yeah, like I don't know, they're not consistent, but it's okay. Even if I knew that it's not gonna get complete score, I was too tired to work on it again, so I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny. It happens. I mean, they can't. They're not looking at your same profile as the previous year, so that makes sense. All right. Next one. Oh, short animation. Oh yeah, okay. This was a fun one. So Mahi did a complete colored animation here. Really amazing. There's nothing to say that you can't do this. So you went for it and got perfect on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and just so that for anyone watching, she even animated a little steam cloud in the background from the teapot and this little glowing light. So I love this story. I remember seeing this way back at the very beginning of this little like walkie-talkie that is kind of entranced by this beautiful phone. It's like this little love story in 4 seconds, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Really clever idea. So tell us about this one, Mahi.
Yeah, I had no plan to like color it and stuff. I just wanted to start out, and it was like he sees a phone and then he looks around and then he jumps, and that's it. And then when I was animating the first version, I just thought that it doesn't have any specific challenges because like when it looks this way and then it looks that way, it's kind of like the same action, and it like took a lot of time. So yeah, I tried to do something which is a little bit more challenging in a way. Like the second part that is like jumps, I didn't just want it to like squash and then jump again. Like I just wanted to give it some kind of movement. Yeah, so I think it's really good if you like try to do something that challenges you a bit, like something that's a little bit difficult. And maybe when I was doing this, I thought like, okay, nobody has ever done this, so it's probably unnecessary. But I think like every year people do something that the people last year haven't thought about it, and maybe that's why like the score is gonna get harder. So I think it's good if people like think of something that nobody has ever done, or maybe make it a little bit more complicated in a way that it like stands out.
That's great. Yeah. So to like go that extra mile to kind of add a little extra flair just because there's going to be less people that probably take that extra step. Yeah, really great tips for sure. All right, let's see the next one. Storyboard. Wait, you got a 1 mark off, but really great considering, storyboarding. Oh yeah, we had many run-throughs with this one. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Paul, what a great name. I love seeing everyone's name for the possum. Great. So we've got this tree that looks beautiful, and then it turns out it's a very evil tree, even though it has flowers all over it, and it's trying to potentially eat the possum or do something with them. Who knows?
Yeah.
So how did you approach this one? Any tips for this one?
Yeah, so my main idea was that he goes into this flower shop and he tries to pick this flower and then the flower bits him or something. But when I was doing this last year, I was mostly thinking about the story, like what I want this story. I want the story to be so cool and so unique and stuff.
Mhm.
This year, when I was thinking about it, I tried to think like, how can I show it in the portfolio, especially if we only have 4 panels. And I thought
Yeah.
like I want to do the last scene in a way that is dramatic, like maybe like kind of like action kind of a like a panel.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I thought for that kind of story, maybe another person could have an idea, but for me, I felt like okay, this is it's not gonna like be so dramatic. It's just gonna be so I don't know, blah. So I decided to like change the story in a way that it could be like more I don't know, yeah, like more
Like
like
increase the stakes a little bit, add more drama.
yeah, add more drama. Yeah, so I try to think about different stories that's gonna do that, and I think it's a
Mm,
good thing that if a person is doing this for the first time, they should think like, how can I show the story in 4 panels in a way that it's like that I can show it in the best way and in a way that like it shows the possum in different angles and different
yeah.
poses. Yeah, and
Mhm.
so yeah, just don't just consider the story, consider the way you want to show it, because I think for Sheridan that is I'm not gonna say the story is not important, but this is I think more important than like the main story itself.
Yeah, because even a very, very simple story, with the right camera angles and the right creativity in terms of how we display the possum or whoever the character is in future years, that you can add drama. The camera, the
Yeah,
editor, really is an active role in this arrangement. You're choosing where the camera is. I remember like we were considering even the we drew a little overhead map at one point to kind of figure out the
yeah,
location of each thing and where the camera is going to be. And I think that kind of thing is really helpful to kind of figure out what we'll be seeing and is that the best spot for the camera. In 3D animation, you have the great luxury of being able to move that camera around and look from a variety of different angles. But when you're drawing it in 2D, you really want to make sure that we're seeing the best angle. Did you sketch out a lot of different options for each one, or did you kind of?
yeah, I did. And when I was like doing the thumbnails, I picked that I like put the character aside, and then I decided to like make a version of the possum, like based on the main character sheet that they gave us. But I tried to like draw it, like give myself a character sheet based on that character sheet of the possum.
Okay.
So that I wouldn't like constantly look at the possum, the character sheet, because the character that they gave us is kind of like it's kind of weird. So when you want to do it in different poses, if you like constantly, it was for me actually. When I constantly was looking at the character sheet, I couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't like draw it in different poses. I just kind of was trying to look at more still standing looking, so I couldn't like give it different poses and stuff. So yeah, I tried to create a character sheet based on the same possum for my thumbnails
Yeah.
and drew some thumbnails, and then I picked the ones that I really liked, and I don't know if you remember, I showed them to you, my
Yeah.
the final thumbnails, and then we choose one of them, and then we try to make the possum more like the real version.
Yeah, yeah, to constantly refer to that model sheet to make sure that your character's on model.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. Awesome. All right, the next one is the internal or linear and aerial perspective. Oh wow, this scene. We had many go around. Everyone's going to see a final version of this soon, but this is the line drawing of this. This grand old kind of almost Parisian feeling town or something like that. Some kind of nice place. Lots of great detail in your Mahi. Like you better have gotten perfect on this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Sure. Because like again, if this isn't perfect, then I don't know what is. This is a great example of a very strong linear background. Notice how in Mahi's work here, there is linear, very geometric elements like the buildings, and even some complex geometry on the buildings like this part here that's coming out of the top of the roof. But there's also these nice kind of organic pieces that are not part of the same vanishing points rather. Like the menu, these chairs are kind of turned. This little box might be a little bit turned. This piece in the foreground. We have a nice middle ground, foreground, middle ground background, and also a lot of nice kind of both linear and actually more organic shapes as well to kind of add diversity here. This one took you a while, eh? You were building this one up for a while to kind of really make sure.
Yeah, and
you
the line
love background, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but like the final, when I was like cleaning it, it was really brutal. Like it was really hard. Yeah. I tried not to use any line drawings and not to copy and paste, so I drew everything with like a brush, and it was really hard to make kind of like the same size and identical, especially like in the banners and like everything else. It was like really hard.
Yeah, I'm sure it took a while. It took,
Yeah.
a lot of time, but it's good that you spent that much time, clearly, because you got full marks on this one.
It's really nice though. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and let's see your other one. So how did you think of this one? I love this concept from the beginning, and what made you think of this?
The first version was not like this. I was thinking like this is the house, and I was thinking about an African tribe or something, and there's this guy in the water, and he's like walking or something or fishing, but it just like it wasn't like this wasn't the main idea at first, but when we started like doing it, it just started being like this, and yeah.
Nice. Yeah, again, really good sense of line quality here, and very neat lines first of all, but we have a very clear sense of the foreground, middle ground, background, and yeah, it even just in looking at it, you can feel the depth of this vista. It's quite grand. We have mountains, clouds, trees that gradually get smaller as it goes back. So even without that, and I love this little snail. Let's zoom into this guy. He's terrified of the toad. Yeah, just a lot of really nice detail. You really put all that extra care into these, I can tell. It's nice that this is a great visual development piece, really, as well. Okay, so now your personal work.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. So here's your main character, but also the whole crew of the set list of these characters that Mahi made for her. The Mitsuki Mansion, is that how you say it?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. Let's have a look at the other ones.
That was in PDF.
Sorry?
That was a PDF. It was like about 8.
Oh, I see. It's a whole bunch of pages.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like I thought so. Yeah. So you did it even full character rotation of every character, right? And even more detail, expressions. This is like this film's ready to be made. A nice interior shot of this what is this? The cage?
It's her study, but it looks like a cage.
Yeah, that's great. All these little props that are in the environment. I love how you lay this out too. I like how you made a very strong kind of page layout that is consistent throughout. It's very professional. It feels like something from an actual feature film or something. Yeah, nice. Here he is again. New character rotation, construction, bunch of expressions. Nice. You made him a little bit more red in this angry one, it looks like.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, nice to see the process of how you kind of went through it, not just the finished one, and a little allusion to more story in each of these little objects too. Nice. I like how you even put that. That's very considerate. Yeah, I love this little guy. The proportions are really neat. Yeah, really great. Nice little Nice to have an animal too. That probably helped a lot. And their relationship with some nice little thumbnails at the bottom here. This character. Yeah, so really you've got like a whole, like you've got character poses and expressions of, and even this walk cycle of all of the characters. This is amazing. The amount of work involved is a lot. Oh, okay, this looks like it's a. Oh yeah, here he is. Here's the walk cycle. Oh, nice. Even a little.
Yeah, so I was animating this, and I was cleaning it up because like it was like a lot of frames, and then when I wanted to upload it, I wanted to save it as an MP4, and the main file, the animation file, kind of got deleted. I don't know why it got disrupted or something.
Oh,
and
no.
The whole finishing file that I had, Adobe Animate, was gone, and it was about like 3 hours before the deadline, and I hadn't slept like for 5 days. I was like getting crazy, and so in the last version that I have saved, the body was clean, but I hadn't like cleaned up the head, and I changed it a little bit because in the first like thumbnail version, the head was going too back and then too forward, but like it was 2 hours before the deadline, so I thought it doesn't matter, so I just put the head, like I just cleaned the head a little bit and then put it on the same body. So as you can see, like the head is a little bit weird because it like goes too much forward and too much backwards, but like I thought that's the best I could do.
Yeah.
Holy,
what a kind of down to the wire nightmare kind of thing. Yeah. This is a corrupted file. That's an awful thing to have happen.
Yeah.
But really, like still really great. Like I don't know if I even notice exactly what you mean. I mean, if I were to look in closer detail, I might be able to find those things, but it still really works great. Like the nice kind of sloth-like walk is awesome. Really great, Mahi.
Yeah, and the main idea was that he's walking and then he sees the fox, which is like sitting on a rock or something, and then he got scared. But like, yeah, it was like too close to the deadline and I was like really tired, so I couldn't do it. But I'm really sorry that I couldn't, because I think that version would like make it like create a little story, but like it would.
Yeah, I think it does work, right? It works 15 out of 15 is how well it works. Oh yeah, here we are. Here's the final colored background of, yeah, that's great. Nice to see the progression, the kind of flat colors with lighting applied, and then the final color. Like, look at all these details. That's great. Really excellent. You had a really great time with this one too, eh?
Yeah.
Although probably towards the end you were ready to throw it in the garbage maybe. A lot of work, these ones, but yeah, I know that feeling of, you know, the line work alone took you a long time, but then there's the color on top. But I mean, what a professional looking background. That's so great.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, your digital paintings. Oh, neat. I don't remember seeing this one actually. This is another kind of layout that you did.
Yeah, this was for my last year.
Oh.
Portfolio, yeah.
Oh, great. And then your animation background, that's great to see here too. Oh yeah, nice. This character. Awesome.
This was from like before when I was interested in concept art, but I thought it's good to show them like your process and like where you come from or what you did, like like the variety.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the only thing that I wouldn't do with this, and it doesn't matter because you got 15 out of 15, I actually would never include the project year. I don't know why. You don't want them to think that it's like something from like like 5 years ago or something. This is fine because it's only 2 years ago, but still, you know, why add that level of complexity to their decision making? I don't think it probably affects them. It's purely based on the artwork, but yeah, I often, even with my own contemporary demo reel, I don't really put the date on it anymore because it's just as soon as you post it, it's out of date, right? Things get so old so quickly. Oh yeah, and this kind of concept arty kind of piece of photo bash and then some digital painting on top, it looks like.
Yeah.
Nice. That's great. So all these kind of, it's nice that you have multiple pieces from these projects. Like, and you've got this little logo here of kind of the project. It's nice that you have, it's not just a single one-off thing. You have this larger kind of thought process around it. Oh yeah, your oil paintings. Nice. Yeah. This is great. Wow. So you did these a while ago. Did you do these prior to getting into economics?
Oh yes, during the time. I used to do oil paintings when I was in economics for fun.
Wow.
And yeah.
And those were those little early seeds of knowing that you were going to eventually switch.
Yeah. So I started out with like this kind of stuff, like head paintings and studies and stuff, but I didn't like it, so I let it go for a while. And after that, I started I started doing like more digital kind of a stuff with oil painting, and I really liked it. And that's when I knew that I kind of liked digital painting.
Yeah. So which one of these are digitally painted?
They were all digitally painted at first, like I tried to do them digitally before, and then I used the photo that I did to make an oil painting.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As a reference, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Really neat. This is really neat too, this big
Except for the one on the left up, but and the clouds, yeah, but the other three, they were at first digital, and then I drew oil painting.
Huh.
Them.
Wow, really cool. It's nice to see that variety of work, very different from the rest of your personal artwork portfolio. And watercolors. Awesome. That's great. They do like to see traditional pieces, eh? It's nice to include some, even if, you know, it's just a little section like this one, just a little fragment. Well, there you said studies, so that kind of explains it in itself. Oh wow, there's 10 pages here. Okay. Okay, so this is your sketchbook, basically.
Yeah.
I see. Animals, people. Great. Oh wow, some animal anatomy. Nice. Oh wow, yeah. This is great. Human anatomy. You're gonna be doing a lot more of this once you're in there. Oh, neat. Oh, this is part of that other one you're working on, that story. Great, little environment sketches. Some caricatures, nice. It's nice that you have a mix of realistic and cartoon and then almost kind of halfway in between. That's great. All right, I think that's the end of your portfolio, Mahi. So
yeah.
Well, great job. Really awesome work. I mean, this is an incredible score in an incredibly difficult year. So a big congrats again. And is there, so if someone was just starting out this process, what is one of the, maybe your top, or just what are some of your top tips for that person that is starting from nothing?
Well, the first thing was the one that I said in the short animation. So like when I was looking at the portfolios from last year and a year before that, I kind of felt like they, like the work that they did, if they submitted this year, they're gonna get less scores. And I think that when you look at the last year portfolios, try to top it, try to do something which is better than that in a way, because like every year it's gonna get better, and like maybe they're gonna give the scores harder, I don't know. So yeah, like to look at it and to think something that's gonna top it in a way. I'm not gonna say you have to do something really like weird or something, but yeah, that's the first thing. And I think it's okay if you don't get in the first year. For me, when I didn't get in the first year, I was really sad. I was like crying, and I think it was one of the best things that happened to me, actually.
Really?
Like, because I didn't know what I liked the first year, and the portfolio, when I was doing the portfolio, it was painful. I didn't enjoy any part of it. I think I just enjoyed the background.
Okay.
I hated it. I actually I kind of like hated it, to be honest, and because it was too much pressure for someone who just started doing it, and you're only thinking about scores and how to do it and what to do that Sheridan likes. when I actually got a little bit more experience, I tried to do what I like, you know, for my personal parts and for every other one. So for the short
Yeah.
animation, I was like, I want to color it. Maybe they don't like it, but I don't care because this is what I like to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I enjoyed the process. It was hard during the end, but I really enjoyed it. And I actually realized what I really like and what I don't like, what are like some of my chances. So yeah, I think if you don't get in the first year, it's actually good. Maybe even apply 2 times or 3 times if you want. There's no rush. Yeah.
That's really great. So you got a lot of great feedback from that first year, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's great that you're saying to reapply, because a lot of people, when they don't get in the first time, get really uninspired and demotivated. And,
Yeah.
it's like, should I even bother trying again? So you did try again. And it sounds like you almost needed that first application to kind of give you permission to be you in a way,
Yeah.
to just like know what you want to do and be like, all right, I'm making this portfolio my own next year. I'm not going to just like be trying to like just do what they're asking for, because you're right.
Yeah.
They do want to see more than what they're asking for. They want to see you somehow. You need to
Yes,
somehow
exactly.
translate you into a visual medium and then present that to them, because you're not going to be there in person to be interviewed, which was the old style from a while back. And some schools maybe still do that, but yeah. So all of this work is like your calling card, and this is all that they know of you. They don't know how hard of a worker you are other than what you're presenting. And and I think what is clear, especially from seeing even just your presentation of everything, is that you really have worked hard at this, and like you've like everything's unified and you have a lot of work per project. It's not like you do these little one-offs. You have like a lot of development and thinking around each one, so you're very intentional about it. So that's really great. It's kind of like you're like, in many ways, I already said this to you before, Mahi, but some of your backgrounds are like, ready to be in some kind of production. It could very well, I can totally imagine a little animated scene. And I think that's a great way to think about it. It's like, could we throw some characters in here? Could we add some animation? And then it's a background in an actual movie. And so I don't know if you were consciously thinking about that, or if you just were sort of, where your goal was and you're shooting for that. But that's a great way to sort of interpret what they're looking for. Is this something that we can use in animation? If you're applying to animation, it should be related to animation. So yeah, that's great. Any last things that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, just I think it's really important not to get disappointed, because yeah, it's gonna happen, but like try to just move on and get going, and like don't compare yourself to others. I think that's just important. Like the mind process in the whole portfolio time is really important. So just don't try to think it as like scores and like doing what Sheridan likes, or like getting in. I think it's really important to just think about the process rather than like the results of, am I gonna get in? Am I good enough? Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great. Okay. Well, that's a great place to leave off, because there's going to be a lot of students that are going to be constantly anxious and worried, and there's so many internal questions that are going on around the time of application. So thanks for sharing your portfolio. This was amazingly helpful. Lots of great tips. And yeah, I'll good luck next year when you're at Sheridan.
Thank you.
All right, take care,
I hope it's not
Mahi.
online. You too.
Yeah, I know. Don't we all? Yeah, hopefully it won't be. All right. See ya.
You too. Bye.